Hello and welcome to the Daily Report for Thursday, the 20th of April 2023. In today's Millwall news, you have this from the South London Press, londonnewsonline.co.uk. Millwall boss on championship results on Wednesday night going in their favour. Millwall manager Gary Rowett is expecting these players to come in with a little spring in their step after championship results went their way. On Wednesday night, the Lions lost 1-0 to Birmingham City the evening before and could have dropped down the table, but none of the clubs immediately below them won on Wednesday. Blackburn Rovers were leading 1-0 until a controversial late stoppage time leveller from Coventry City keeper Ben Wilson, even though it appeared he handled the ball. Well, he is a goalkeeper. Dum-dum. Norwich could only draw 1-1 at QPR, with Preston going down 4-2 at Swansea. Watford, who already looked to have slim chances of getting in the mix, lost 3-1 at home to Cardiff City. At this stage, with 3 games to go, when you played on the Tuesday and there are games on the Wednesday, then you're going to start looking at the results with a keen eye, Rowett told the South London Press. We need to look after ourselves and make sure our performances and results are good enough, and that will dictate where we finish this season. But of course, you're going to look at the other results. If you're a Millwall fan and you looked at how you wanted the results to go, then predominantly most went that way. But all it means is that we're still fifth. It means it's not easy at this stage to get the results you want, which everybody's proved. And it gives us a chance to go again. It's a tough game against Wigan. They're fighting for their lives in regards to whether they are bottom of the league. I don't think that makes any difference at the moment. You can argue that the teams down the bottom are getting more points than the teams up the top. It's up to us to go there and put another big away performance in. Certainly after feeling pretty down after the game against Birmingham. I think the players will be coming in with a little spring in their step this morning and ready to go again for the weekend. We certainly do hope so. Regarding that Birmingham game, here we go again with some more explanation, aka excuses from Gary Rowett. Millwall boss explains substitution decisions against Birmingham. This is also from londonnewsonline.co.uk. Millwall boss Gary Rowett has explained why he waited to make substitutions in his side's 1-0 defeat at home to Birmingham City on Tuesday. The Lions boss made 4 changes in the closing stages of the game, making the first substitute on the 75th minute mark when he took off Andreas Vogelsam to bring on Duncan Watmore. Romain Esse, Callum Styles and Mason Bennett were also introduced. Well, I can already see the first line, but they were playing well. We were playing well. The players were playing well. But it just wasn't happening, and you had the feeling that it just wasn't going to happen. At this stage, I don't know. I have a feeling that it might be the formation or just the way that the formation's been played. He keeps moaning about the outside wide players not being able to score. Well, I think that's because Bradshaw's playing too central. He needs to move across to one side or the other, either come to the front post when it's on that side or go to the back post, to drag the defenders along, to leave a space for the other player to come in. So if the ball's going down our left, and let's say it's Watmore and Vogelsam, so Watmore will be on the left. If Bradshaw goes to the back post, that leaves space then for Zion Fleming, George Saville, whoever to run into that gap that Bradshaw's created. If he's just standing in the middle, there's no gap. And not only that, generally a team's 2 best defenders would be the 2 centre backs. The 2 full backs, genuinely not the best of defenders, is because that's the reason why they're fullbacks. If they were any good at playing defence, they would be centre backs because that's where you need them. Case in point, Murray Wallace. He's kind of a centre back, but not really. So he's a backup centre back, but he plays left back. I'm not digging him out, but he does pretty well there. But yeah, so you want to be coming down, causing trouble down the wings. You don't want to be It's too easy if you just go down the middle all the time. You want to mix it up and go in, come out again. But like I say, if you've got Fleming in the middle but deeper, and Bradshaw in the middle but more forward, it's one of them needs to go over to the wing, and then the the guy on the other side who's not on the ball needs to come over. They need to tuck in and basically act as a second striker. So the outside rights, whatever you calling them, whether it's Watmore, Burke, Vogelsama, Romain, when the ball's not on their side, they need to tuck in and basically act as a second striker. And when we don't have the ball, they need to drop back into their position. But yeah, so we'll see how it goes. But let's get back to the story. No, because we were on top and creating chances, said Rowett when asked whether there was a temptation to make the changes earlier. If anything, when I made the subs, we lost a little bit of momentum for about 5 or 10 minutes. I understand the fans want to make those changes, but we're fifth at the moment. I'm not going to just do what everyone wants me to do, because that's not the manager's job. Sometimes you have to ignore however everyone feels and what you think is the right thing to do. Ultimately, it's being part of where we are at the moment. Okay. But, yeah, we were playing well, but here's the thing. He changes the players, but the system's the same. The only time, sometimes he will take off Murray Wallace, put Scott Malone on and play him further forward. So we're basically playing 3 at the back, but Cooper, Hutch, McNamara. And then if Malone were basically playing as a left wing, but on the left wing, that's when the teams are just defending, and they're just defending. Why you have 4 defenders pushed them up? And I think there was one game, I don't remember. So we were effectively playing with 2 at the back, just the 2 centre backs, and McNamara and Malone were way up, playing farther forward. So yeah, maybe it's not just about changing the players, but changing the formation as well. Not all the time, not at the start, but maybe later on in the game, which he did a couple of times as well defensively. So he changed it to 5 at the back when we were trying to hold on to a lead. I think against Stoke and against Luton, he brought on Hutch for forward play and dropped him back. So we had 3 centre backs. So yeah, he can change formation late on in the game. So maybe that's what we need to do rather than just make like changes with the players. So here we go. This is also from londonnewsonline.co.uk. Wigan Athletic must beat Millwall to keep alive slim survival hopes. Yeah, so what's happened is that the 2 worst teams in the league, Wigan and Blackpool, they've been given a lifeline because of points deductions to Reading and someone else, the other one as well. Wigan Athletic have to win their home game against Millwall on Saturday to stand any chance of avoiding relegation to League 1. The Latics are 7 points clear of safety with only 9 still available to gain. The Sean Maloney side travel to fellow strugglers Reading following weekend before wrapping up at home to Rotherham United. So yeah, if we beat them, I think that we're going to send them down. We're going to get them relegated. Former Millwall striker Steve Morrison, on punditry duty for Sky Sports in midweek, claimed that the fact that both Wigan and Blackpool are in dire straits will help his old employer, as they have no option but to try and take maximum points. Will Keane scored Wigan's winner at Stoke City on Tuesday. Maloney said, "If we perform like we did tonight, anything's possible. While it's mathematically still on, you never know. You really don't. We've just got to keep winning and see what happens." Lions boss Gary Rowett told the Southampton Press, "If I watch Wigan anyway, they've been quite expansive. They move the ball quite well, and they try to play quite an open style. They've been pretty creative in some of the games, and even if they haven't won, Sean has spoken about it, and they just haven't scored the goals. But they've played quite well. Yeah, they've got to win, but how they go about that is completely up to them. For all I know, they might sit in and camp themselves on the edge of their own box for 90 minutes and hope to nick one. You don't know. I would think that teams like Wigan and Blackpool are going to want to play the last few home games and give the fans something to be excited about, regardless of where they are in the league. So, of course, they want to win. I'm pretty sure they will be pretty much front foot to try and win the game. But we've got to make sure we put our performance in and do what we need to do. We have to be flexible. I don't necessarily think Birmingham would come and sit the way that they did, because they hadn't done it in the 4 or 5 games before it, but they did. They came to spoil and sit in for us. That is a bit of an issue at home, but away from home, it's been less of a problem. Well, Birmingham decided to sit in because they'd scored a goal. Before then, they were pressing quite high and hard with a lot of pace. They got quite a few young players that can run very quickly, so they were doing that until they scored, and then they decided to defend. So yeah, Wigan need to win, and if they don't, they may be relegated. Yeah. We're going to finish with this. So the club are advertising tickets to the under-21s game. It's at the Den on Tuesday, the 25th of April. Kick off 2 p.m. It's the last home game in the season that's scheduled to be at the ground at the Den. The last game is actually against Sheffield United, Sheffield Wednesday at home. That's set to take place at the training ground on Wednesday, on the 5th of May. So there you go. So here we go. Tickets are £5, adults £1, under 16s, and under 16 season ticket holders are free of charge. But how are they going there on Tuesday? They should be at school. Yeah. Yeah, 2 p.m. kickoff, Tuesday the 25th, Crew Alexandra. Who are not very good, so I mean, should be like shooting fish in a barrel. And by then, Millwall may or may not be guaranteed in the end of season playoff semi-finals, or championship semi-finals as it would be then, because they're playing for the trophy. But they may need to get points from this game to do that still. So yeah, get down there and give them a cheer. You don't need to buy a ticket in advance. You can just turn up on the day. So yeah, there you go. Date for your diary next Tuesday. And on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.